Hey everybody, welcome back. Monday Morning Briefing, episode number 98. It's Thursday, August the 17th. We just got back this week from the Heart of Texas Leather Show in Waco, and that was put on by the Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal. It was a great show. It was another great year for that show. I feel like there was just as many or maybe more people there this year than there was last year, so that's always good. With any business or any event, you just try to see a little bit of increase every year. At least that's what I try to aim for. And it was really good. It was only a 2-day show this year. It was only Friday and Saturday was the actual trade show. The workshop started on Tuesday and ran all the way through the weekend, I believe. But there was no show on Sunday. So I've mentioned it before on Monday Briefing. I was kind of either way. I could go either way on that. Usually Sunday was just like a short day or a half day. But this year, it actually worked out really well. We were able to get our booth loaded out Saturday evening and then just relax. We stayed the night there, and then we're able to kind of ease back home on Sunday morning. And so it actually made it pretty nice. We got here about 1 o'clock, and then I was able to come up to the shop and just kind of unload the trailer in one big nasty pile in the back of the shop here, and then we just kind of relaxed Sunday afternoon at the house and kind of recuperated. And then Monday, we've been working all week really to get the shop put back together. While we had a lot of the stuff out of the shop, it gave us an opportunity to kind of clean and reorganize a little bit, mainly in the workshop space. As our material packs and things, as we keep adding product to that, our shipping little area in the shop is quickly outgrowing the space that I have for it. So we're trying to navigate that, Claudia and I, try to figure out exactly where we can put that to be the most efficient as that continues to grow, because as we add patterns, a lot of times we'll add material packs to those different pattern projects. But anyway, we got back in the shop, like I said, Monday, and it was just kind of a long day, just putting a product back, doing inventory again. If you've been to the website and you didn't come to Waco, you may notice we took the merchandise off the website. It's not on there currently. It will be back on there today in preparation for this weekend, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But I took it off because we only have so much merchandise, and so I didn't want to double sell and have to keep up with the website orders on t-shirts. If you buy a t-shirt like this in an extra large and we only have one, and I sell it in the booth, and then you've bought it on the website that evening or something, and we don't catch it, then we're kind of out. So I just decided to take it off. I did it last year too, didn't talk about it a whole lot, but I just took it off for that week while we were gone. If you ordered something on the website, and again didn't go to Waco, you ordered something on the website last week, we did have a note in the store letting everybody know that we would be out and that shipments would go out this week. To my knowledge, Claudia has all those shipments already gone out. I think they were all out actually like Tuesday or Wednesday, and so those should be headed your way. And want to thank everybody that came by the booth. We had a ton of people come in that I hadn't met. A lot of them I met last year or the year before, but a lot of new people too, so that was great. And there was a lot of folks from TikTok there this year that I'm not aware of, because I'm not on that platform. I'm not on TikTok at all. And so it was pretty neat to kind of get to hear their story and visit with them and kind of see some of the work that they did. I saw some amazing work this week from people that have been doing it less than a year, all the people have been doing it 10, 20 years. Just a lot of good work. I'm really happy with how well the industry seems to be developing and getting some new ideas and some new styles and new art that's coming into it. It's just really exciting. We also had the last minute leather shootout is what Aaron ended up calling it, and it was really neat. We had 130 something wallets entered in that, and I was shocked. I knew we had a bunch because Aaron had kind of been updating me on some wallets that he had, that were shipped to him. And so we kind of had a little running tally, but I think the final number was like 135 or something like that. Him and I and Terry got in there. Terry Henson, he was one of the judges as well. And we got in there, I guess it was Friday morning, about 7 o'clock. And I don't think we walked out of that room till about 11. And so it took some time. But we wanted to look at each individual wallet, go through it, and do a good job of critiquing it and really looking at where it was. There were so many good entries. There was, it was kind of one of them deals was a little overwhelming because I don't judge a lot of competitions at all. This may be only my second or third time to be any kind of judge in something like that. And so I didn't feel really seasoned in that deal, so I took my time. But there was a lot in there that was really good, and you had to really kind of how do you got to try to differentiate between placings and things, and so we just tried to do the best we could. I think we did a good job. Aaron has done a video kind of reviewing some of the wallets, also going over some of the placings and where they are, and he's working on getting those wallets shipped back to you if you wanted them back. And then I think he's going to do something to benefit some programs that he's doing for youth and for veterans with the wallets that people donated. And so that's a really good deal. And I'm sure if you keep an eye on his Facebook or on his website and things, he'll keep everybody updated on what he's doing with that. But if you want to go to his YouTube channel, he has 2 videos out, I think, as far as reviewing the wallet deal and kind of going over it, and it was really interesting. I saw one yesterday he posted that was really good. I liked what he did with that, just to kind of show kind of what we were going for, what we were looking for. And next year, he says we're going to do it again. So we're going to do it again. I think he's going to change it up some, add some things to it, develop it a little bit more. And I don't know if it'll be the same project. I don't know if he'll do a wallet again or if he'll do something different. So we'll just have to wait and see. We've got a year to plan for that. But be sure to go to his YouTube channel, and it's Maker's Leather Supply on YouTube. Be sure to go to that, and you can find those videos and kind of see some of the entries that were in there and who won and that kind of thing. Is a really good deal. As far as the classes, we started the classes on Tuesday. My first class was Tuesday at noon, and so we got there Monday afternoon. Went and had dinner with Aaron and Janie Sue, and then we just kind of relaxed and got up Tuesday morning, and I got my classroom ready to go, and we did our beginners floral carving class, which was great. We had some great people in there, made some progress that day. Everybody said they liked it and enjoyed it, so that was great. As I go along teaching, these workshops at these type of events, I'm developing those individual workshops as well, and learning a lot about how to portray or how to explain some of the things that we're doing in floral carving, and so it's a lot of fun. But a lot of those people out of the beginners class ended up taking our advanced class the next day. I taught 2 days of the advanced or intermediate to advanced floral carving, and I did that Wednesday and Thursday. So there were 2 separate classes, but the same type of class. And I had a lot of people that took both the beginners and the advanced. And one gentleman that was in my beginners class, his advanced tooling was far better than what he did in the beginners class. So I think he just kind of caught on to it and kind of figured what we were doing, and kind of figured the swivel knife workout. That was the main focus this week. Whether it was in the judging of the wallets or in my classes, I've kind of noticed that we all need to really focus a lot more time on our swivel knife. I don't know how many people this week that would ask me, how do I improve my floral carving? What do you think about this? What can I do better? All of it boils down to your swivel knife cuts. First, is your swivel knife sharp? Because if it's not sharp, it's not doing the job it's intended to do. And then also making accurate cuts. It doesn't do any good to trace the pattern if you're tracing and transferring. It doesn't do any good to trace the pattern off meticulously and then to transfer it just as well, and then to carve the lines incorrectly, because no amount of beveling can fix an incorrect line. And so your swivel knife work will exponentially improve your floral carving by far more than anything else. You're going to have the rest of your life doing floral carving to practice your beveling. But the swivel knife cuts have to be right from the start. And so that's what I tell people to practice. If you get up in the morning, get a cup of coffee, have some scrap leather there in your kitchen or by your chair there in the living room, whatever, and just sit there and practice making cuts. We hand out some handouts in our classes that have some swivel knife practice cuts and things to kind of help you, give you an idea of where to start. And that's what I really want people to focus on, is the swivel knife above any other tool you have. Because it's so hard to help somebody with a floral pattern that they're trying to carve when they're worried about how their bar grounding looks when the lines aren't straight or right, accurate. They're all over the place, or they're real jagged, or they're not flowy, they're not carved the right depth. All of those things matter. And so I told everybody this week, don't focus on anything else but your swivel knife. If you can master that swivel knife, you can master floral carving. The tooling, the stamping is all mechanical. It's paint by number if you carve it correctly. That's the main focus, is the swivel knife. And so if you don't have a swivel knife that is very good, or if your blade you think is really dull. Real easy to tell if your blade's really dull. If you're carving a pattern out and it's pushing the leather down into like a crevice like this, then your swivel knife's dull. It needs to be cutting like an incision to where it opens that line up. The thickness of that line is going to be determined by the angle of your bevel on your swivel knife blade, as well as the thickness of your swivel knife blade. And we can dive off into the rabbit hole on swivel knife, you know, the actual knife or the handle, and then the blades and the different ones, and the taper and the straight and the wide and the narrow and the slim. Then all of those things matter, but I don't care which one you have. Just make sure it's got a good edge on it and it is cutting the grain of that leather and opening up that cut. And that way, and it's smooth, you're stropping it correctly, and so that it stays smooth so that you can make those smooth fluid cuts. And then also working with downward pressure with your index finger, pulling with your middle finger, and turning with these two together. And then when you're carving, you want to carve it like you bevel it. So a line should, you know, most of your vine lines, you know, your long lines and stuff like that, those would be, you're starting out deep and then feathering that out to nothing as you end the tails of those lines. And that's a visual reminder when you sit down to bevel, you'll see that line's cut really deep at first, so you'll bevel deep. And then as you get to the end, it starts shallowing up, you will shallow your bevel up. See, that's what I'm saying. If the carving is right, it's paint by number after that. So you can smooth out your bevel. I can smooth out your bevel in 20 minutes, you and I working together. That's not a problem. But if your line is all over the place, or it's incorrect, or it's intersecting a line it shouldn't be, we can't fix that. And so swivel knife is the most important. Swivel knife, swivel knife, swivel knife. Spend time working with that. And then other than that, like I said, we got back. I had a saddle done before we left, but I needed some conchos, so we're waiting on that. So we got that done yesterday, I guess. I got the conchos in, ordered those when I got back. Meant to look around at Waco and find a set, but I wasn't able to leave the booth very much either day, and so didn't get to do really any shopping at all. I did get some leather from Aaron, and so that was about the only shopping that I really did. Celoy brought me some more goat skins since he was coming, you know, and I needed some, so he brought those there and saved me some shipping, so I was able to pick that up. But I did not get to go to Barry King's booth and buy any tools. Not that I need really any, but there's a few that I had seen in our classes that I wanted to grab. But I hope that you had plenty of time. If you went to Waco, I hope you had plenty of time to walk around, and hopefully you stayed within budget. It's hard to do at a show like that. There's so many things, so many opportunities to get your hands on some material or some tools or some finishes, and really learn a lot about it. I met a lot of you guys that were buying machines from Leather Machine Co. There was a couple there, a couple different craftsmen and women that bought their first Cobra 26, and so I was real excited for them on that. And then there was a few that bought some splitters, and one guy was telling me he got him a bell skiver, which is, those are handy tools, and machinery can really help your business, but it really depends on where you're at. You know, if you're just doing it as a hobby, and you know, you don't have a whole lot of room, you're working in, you know, a small basement room, or you're working in at your kitchen table or something like that, you don't really need those kind of machines just yet. You can work towards that, but if you're at that level and you're ready to put some machinery in there that can make your work more efficient, then I always recommend Cobra or Leather Machine Co. Just service is bar none. There's nobody out there that takes care of customers the way they do. So that's what I tell people, if you're looking for that, because I'm not a mechanic, so if I have a problem, I'm usually calling them, and then every time I've had any kind of little thing, they have fixed it, or Aaron has. I've actually called Aaron, and he knows exactly how to tell me to fix something. But they will get it taken care of over the phone 90% of the time, and it's usually not a big deal, or send you the parts you need. As far as the classes, Claudia took Aaron's duffel bag class, and so this is the bag that she made in that class, and she was in there with a bunch of you guys that may watch this, our Monday videos and things, and she had a blast. Her and a good friend of hers were there, and they went ahead and took that class together, and I think that's going to become a yearly thing. I think every year she's going to pick a class and take it, but she's really enjoying bags. And this is made out of the Herman Oak leather 1880, and this is a waterproof bag leather. It's all veg tan, it's not chrome tanned, and this is the same leather. This is softer. This is the softer blend. One's Expedition and one's 1880. I'm not sure which one. Talk to Aaron, he can tell you which one that is, but this is the softer version of it. And it makes a really, really nice duffel bag, and it's waterproof, and so that makes it really durable. And she did a really nice job. There's some really challenging seams on this bag, and she got here, and she Monday, or I guess Tuesday, after we got the bulk of everything put back out, she had bought some other leather from Aaron while we were there, and it's a milled, some type of milled leather. I think it's a veg tan, but it's milled veg, and it looks really cool. It's got a lot of good grain to it and stuff, and it's really soft, much like this. And so I said, what are you gonna do with that leather? She said, I'm gonna build another bag when I get home, if not two, because she likes to get right back and do it again so she doesn't forget how to do it. Because like any class, you do it one time and then you get home and you can't remember every little step. And so anyway, we cut one out, and she built another one over the last couple days. And I'm really proud of her. She did good on the sewing machine. She's sewing on my class 4. She was using a Cobra 18, class 18 in Aaron's class, and then the 26. Is some of the stuff on the assembly of this bag, you have to have a cylinder arm machine, can't do it on a flatbed. So they were using those two machines interchangeably, but she fell in love with the 18. So apparently we're gonna get an 18 here this fall because it's a nice flatbed. She does not like my Singer 3115 that I've had in some of the videos, the older little Singer machine, boot top machine. She hates that thing because it's a clutch motor and it's either on or off, really. It's really hard to throttle the speed on that thing. I've been on that machine for many years, and so I get along with her good. But Claudia said that machine's going to the back and her new 18 is gonna go over here, so we'll figure that out when it comes. I like having that machine near me because I use it a lot, but she said I won't once we get the 18. So I've never sewn on one, but that's what we're gonna try to do. But yeah, she did a really good job on these seams. When she was building the bag this week, I actually learned how Aaron does some of these seams, and it makes it really easy. And so I'll probably be using some of those skills or that seam in some upcoming bags as well for our project videos. The other bag that she built is actually a gift for a friend of ours that was helping us out a little bit while we were gone, checking on Huey. He stayed at the house, and he's in here whining because it's just him and I in the shop this morning, so he gets kind of separation anxiety. But anyway, he stayed at home. We didn't kennel him this year. We just left him at the house, and that way we had a young lady feeding for us and everything, and so they turned him out in the evenings and let him run around. And I think he was happier at home. He still missed us, but he was happier. But anyway, we had a friend that was stopping out there and just kind of checking on him and checking on things too. So she made that bag. She's gonna give it to her as a gift. And we've got enough leather for her to make another bag for whatever else she wants to do. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to go to one of these shows, Leather Crafters and Saddlers Journal puts on these, they do Prescott, Arizona. I think that's in February. They have the Sheridan show, obviously, in May. That is probably the biggest one as of to date, and then Waco here in August. And then I think they do one in Europe as well. So I think they do 4 shows. There may be one I'm missing, but I think that's pretty much it. And those shows, they always have classes or workshops during the week before the trade show starts. And if you're gonna make the trip and you're gonna take time off and you're gonna go to one of these events, I highly suggest at least taking an extra day and taking one class, or even a couple days and taking a couple. There's some people that come to these every year and take classes for 4 days straight, like all day long. They'll take multiple classes. There was somebody teaching a class on the 26th, learning how to adjust it, learn how to thread it, learn how to sew with it, all the tricks of that machine. There's people, I think Jim Linnell does like a swivel knife class where you're just working on swivel knife work. Highly suggest that one. There's Christopher Andre does some classes. Bob Park does a bunch of classes. Bob does a lot of classes. He's got multiple opportunities at these events for you to sign up for some of his classes. Bob Renner does a class on business as far as learning how to price your work and kind of navigate that whole scene. Very, very good class from what I've heard. I'd like to sit through that class one time just to get his perspective. We've had him on the podcast and he's kind of talked about that some. But the list goes on. There's so many great ones that are at these shows every time there is one. They travel to these things and do them, and they're just a great opportunity to see a lot of craft. And then just craftsmen that are there. Robert Beard was there, had his booth, had some tools. That's an awesome opportunity to meet that guy. He's an icon in the industry. You can talk to him. Very interesting to visit with. I would love to spend a weekend with that guy, just hearing stories and working on tools, seeing how he makes his tools, and then stamping around with them. And as far as leather pictorial work, you couldn't work with somebody better. He's very, very talented on that. And so but yeah, there's tons of them, guys. Barry King was there, like I said, with his booth. His booth is always the most popular booth at the show. And if you want to get tools from there and not have to be crowded so much, you better get in there early, because that booth stays pretty crowded the entire time. So he makes good product. People like them, and like I said, and I think he taught some classes too. He usually does. He teaches floral carving classes and things like that as well. So yeah, these shows are great. Like I said, this one will be the last one of the year for Leather Crafters and Settlers Journal. Other than the one in Europe, I'm not sure when that one is, and I may be completely wrong on that, but I'm almost positive they do one over there. But you can go to their website. I'll put a link in the description for Leather Crafters and Settlers Journal. It's got a list of all their events, any of their contact info that you need, anything like that. And they're just great folks, and they do a good job putting these events on. And our next event that we're going to be going to will be Wichita Falls Boot and Saddle Makers Roundup. That is an old show. It's been around for years. It used to be in Brownwood, Texas, I went the last year that it was in Brownwood. Was my first time to that show, and I was in college. And then after that they moved it to Wichita Falls, and so I've been going. I went for many years. Every year we would go, and then my shop just got busy, and we had another show that kind of conflicted with that, and so we weren't able to go just because it wasn't on the same date, but it was like the next week, and we were busy trying to build product and get things ready to go for the booth for a big event that we used to attend every year, just as the saddle shop, selling our saddles and bridles and things like that. And so we didn't go for a number of years. So this will be the first time I'll be back at that show in probably over 10 years or so. And they'll have a saddle competition there. If you want information on that, you can certainly search that up for the Boot and Saddle Makers Roundup in Wichita Falls, and that'll be October. Let me see. We'll just read the deal here because I have the little flyer on it. If you're not familiar with it, you can go to Boot and Saddle Makers Trade Show. No, Boot and Saddle Maker Tradeshow.com. If you just search Boot and Saddle Maker Trade Show on Google, I'm sure you'll find it. But Boot and Saddle Maker Tradeshow.com is their website, evidently, and you can get information on there on dates and stuff. But it's October the 6th and 7th. It's a Friday-Saturday show. They used to have a swap meet with this show, which was really cool. This show's really geared towards, or you'll see a lot of professional boot and saddle makers at this show. So if that's kind of where you're headed or what you do, this is a gathering of custom boot makers, custom saddle makers predominantly. Any form of leather craft, you'll see all kinds of folks there that don't necessarily build boots and saddles, but this show is historically kind of what it's geared for. So there'll be some little bit different vendors at this one. You might see more bootmaker supply companies being there, findings companies, you know, the equipment, that kind of stuff. You also might see more people geared towards saddle trees, those type of things there at that one. And then, like I said, it's a Friday, Saturday show, no show on Sunday. But the swap meet, that's what I was going to say. They used to have a swap meet. So when I first went to this show at Wichita Falls, the first year there, I didn't know about the swap meet when I went to Brownwood. But there it was, the show was Saturday, Sunday, and on Friday it was like a swap meet in the parking lot. And so you would have saddle makers, boot makers, whatever would come with flatbed trailers with equipment on it. Just old equipment. It might be, you know, old sole stitchers, boot top machines, patch machines, finishers. There might be, you know, hand tools or bench top tools, skiving tools, things like that. Somebody might have boxes of just old hammers and things, just things they cleared out of their shop that they wanted to peddle and get rid of, and somebody can make use of. And so that was a lot of fun. It was almost like a yard sale kind of thing out in the parking lot of the show, and you could find all kinds of neat things. That's where I got this 3-in-1 that I've used. You've seen me use in some of my videos, the green green crank machine that's on my bench. I got that actually at one of those swap meets, and guy had it. It had a little bit of issues. It was real dirty. I think I gave him $100 for it. And so it used to be a lot of fun. But they quit doing that. I'm not sure how long ago that they quit doing the swap meet, but that was always a big draw. But no big deal. They shortened the show up, got us out of there Saturday, and then you got Sunday to drive back. Because for us, from here to Wichita Falls is probably going to be, I haven't mapped it out, but I bet it's going to be 7 hours at least. Because it's west of Fort Worth, you know, kind of headed that way. So it's going to be a little bit of a drive for us. But if you're in the area, if you can be there, it's a really good show. They're also going to have a boot and saddle contest at that show. That's always been there. They've always done that kind of deal. So they'll have, I think they have a geometric or plain category on the saddles. They have a floral, open floral competition category. And then the boots, I'm not sure what they have. Like I said, you can go to their website and find out more about the contest. But they'll have some different categories and things like that, and it's really neat to just be able to go there and see all the different saddles, and you'll see some amazing saddle work, amazing boot work, and it's a lot of fun. So that show is going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, that'll be in October. That'll be our last show of the year, and then outside of that, we'll just be getting ready for Christmas. And again, like I said last time, we're not going to talk about Christmas just yet, but I'm going to put a pin in that and just kind of get it on your mind, because September we will be preparing for Christmas. I actually had somebody request to get on my Christmas list yesterday, texted me, which surprised me. That's good. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they're thinking early. My books are closed for custom work, so I just, with you guys and what we do here and some plans we've got for the fall for this channel and for our shop, we don't really have time for Christmas orders this year. So we're going to try to stay off that and then just work on my saddle list so I can get that cleaned off. But yeah, it's nice to see people thinking a little early. But we'll dive more into that in September and start kind of helping y'all, you know, visit about some Christmas ideas as far as preparation and workflow and things like that. But I need to get off of here. We've got quite a bit to do today. I'm working on a rope bag. You may have seen if you follow me on Instagram. I do have one that's left on we're trying to clean our custom books off. We've got a few things, but I've got a rope bag here for a good client. I've got a rope can I've got to make. I've got a few belts I need to work on, so I'm going to try to hustle and get some of that done. Just trying to keep some of that finished up and caught up. So the show was really good. I want to thank everybody that came by the booth. A lot of people were buying material packs, especially our golf ball sleeves. We had a ton of those cut out. I probably got a little crazy and cut out too many, but I did that with a lot of the material packs. We took a lot of stuff because that's a great opportunity. People kind of see what they look like, pick the ones they want, you know, if they're gonna kind of, you know, have a problem with a mark here or there or whatever. And we had a lot of people buying material packs, but I still have quite a bit of inventory, which is great because a lot of times we run out on the website. But the problem is we've got another shipment of leather that I'm sure is close, if not ready. And I still have leather I haven't cut. And so I kind of held it back and kind of left some things off on the website in preparation for Waco. And so we did a good job, but I've still got leather I've got to cut. I've still got a pretty good amount of inventory on some material packs, and I need to make room. If you've been to my shop, you know we don't have a ton of room everywhere. And so in order to get that next shipment in, I've got to wait till I make some room back there, because we've also just got a lot of scrap that I need to go through. So we're going to be running a little special on certain things over the weekend. It'll start tomorrow. We'll get on there this evening and we'll start looking at exactly how much we're going to mark things down. Some things might be marked down pretty decently to give you a little discount on that. Some things maybe not at all. So it's all going to be kind of on a case-by-case basis, whether they're patterns or merchandise, or especially the material packs, like I said, because we need to make a little room. And so for those of y'all that didn't get a chance to come to Waco, because we did have a little show special there in the booth for that, we're going to do something this weekend as just a thank you and to make some room, because I've got to get, because I want to get that next shipment of leather early enough so that then I can get another one before November, because for the Black Friday deal we need to have plenty of inventory for you guys for that. That's in November. We'll talk more about that later. But so anyway, we're going to be running a sale across the website. You'll have to just kind of get on there and cruise around. It'll be different things for different discounts, some not at all. Depends on how many of them I have. But we'll be doing some of that, and maybe can save a little bit of money on your material packs if you're needing that, if you're wanting to kind of stack up and get ready for some fall events or Christmas, or just build some stuff for your own store, whatever you need to do. Keep an eye on that. Like I said, we'll start Friday and run through Sunday, sometime Monday. I'm going to be out of the shop on Monday. Claudia will be here, but I'll be out of the shop on Monday, and I'll be on the computer and doing some stuff, but I've got to take my mom for a little appointment thing, and so we'll be doing that. But like I said, we'll run the sale through the weekend, and then we'll end it Sunday night or Monday, just kind of depends. So just be on the lookout for that, and be sure and check the cut bench page, because we will be putting. I've got a stack of thumb hole 5-6 ounce rifle slings that got light damaged from, you know, sitting in one of these bins, and so they've got a little discoloration, whatever. We're going to put those on the cut bench page and sell those pretty discounted, and so if that doesn't bother you, if you're going to dye them black, dye them brown, whatever, that light staining won't make a difference. And so if you want to save a little bit on that, we'll be putting a bunch of stuff on that page that I just have some oddball stuff, just some things that don't fit on the website anywhere else. We'll put them on there. And remember, on that page, once it's gone, it may never be back on there again. So if you see it and you want it, kind of grab that. But we'll be doing that through the weekend. I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to go to dgsaddlery.com and sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter. And if you want more information or want to kind of see some of the wallets and things from the Last Minute Leather Shootout, be sure to go to Makers Leather Supply's YouTube channel, and you can find I think it's probably the last 2 videos Aaron's done, which is just some little updates on that, and you can see which ones won, the categories, things like that, and get a little more information. And I appreciate you guys, and we'll see y'all next week in the Monday morning briefing.